Let's have an ethical conversation about the death penalty. Is the death penalty justice, or is it irreversible revenge? Let's weigh both sides and make a decision. Supporters of capital punishment argue it's the only sentence that truly fits the most heinous crimes. This is the concept of retributive justice, a life for a life. The philosopher Immanuel Kant believed that failing to execute murderers was itself an injustice, a failure to honor the value of the life taken. John Stuart Mill echoed this sentiment. He said executing a murderer isn't a disregard for life, but actually the highest expression of its sanctity. Next argument, deterrence. If people know they could die for killing, maybe they'll think twice before doing it. A 2003 Emory University study suggested that execution might prevent up to 18 murders. That being said, this is heavily disputed. But the idea remains, consequences save lives, or at least that's the theory. Okay, another claim in support of the death penalty, let's talk about incapacitation. A dead murderer cannot kill again. They never will kill again. Life sentences don't guarantee safety. There are cases of inmates killing guards, other inmates, or even orchestrating crimes behind bars. For many victims' families, execution brings closure. It signals that the system recognizes the gravity of their loss. Sometimes it's just that the death penalty feels less like punishment and more like moral accountability. Okay, but now let's flip it. Let's argue against the death penalty. Since 1973, at least 195 people have been exonerated from death row. That turns justice into essentially Russian roulette, where innocent people have been sentenced to death and then innocent people die. And there are no second chances when it comes to the death penalty and no reparations that are equivalent to the loss of your life. Then you have the bias. Studies have shown that defendants who kill white victims are more likely to be sentenced to death than those who kill black or Latino victims. And if you're poor, good luck affording decent representation. The idea of the death penalty may be great, but in practice it often targets the powerless, not just the guilty. And we also actually have a rebuttal to the pro-death penalty deterrence claim that I mentioned earlier. The National Research Council found no solid evidence that capital punishment reduces crime more than life sentences. And then you have the cost of the death penalty. You'd think execution would be cheaper than life in prison, but the opposite is true. Due to lengthy trials, appeals, and specialized incarceration, death penalty cases cost hundreds of thousands more per inmate. And then finally, we have the question of, should the state have the power to kill? Governments are made of flawed people, subject to political pressure, capable of bias, all of that. And once we give them the right to end lives, we have to ask, where do we draw the line? So, to round it all out, is capital punishment the right answer to heinous crimes? Or is it too big of a risk? Let me know your stance in the comments, and more importantly, tell me why you believe what you believe.